everyone, welcome back to my channel. What's up guys? So here in Malaysia we're having a full lockdown again. It's been a month. Well, actually it's been a year and a half, but then this month we're having a total lockdown where we can't go out. We have to work from home. If you have work from home, or else you have to stay at home. It's just tough for us. You can't go further than 10 kilometers, and if you want to go out also, it must be on only emergency purposes, maybe like buying food or buying medicines and another stuff that is emergency. So it's very tough. Let's pray this pandemic will end soon and everybody can have a normal life back, and of course we can go on vacation. So today I'm going to talk about reincarnation story again. If you haven't listened to my first reincarnation story about a boy who claimed to be a pilot from World War II, you can go to my channel and search for that, and feel free to drop your comments on how you thought about it, and maybe if you have some reincarnations experience, you just can write on it. And don't forget to subscribe to more interesting stories. This story was very famous at its time, and now it's all over the internet, and I'm going to tell you about it today. There was a married couple whose name John Pollock and Florence Pollock. In 1946, they had a daughter. Well, actually, she was also the third kid because they had previously two boys. So this daughter they named Joanne Pollock. After 5 years, they moved to Hexham in England, and there they had the second daughter. They named her as Jacqueline Pollock. The parents were having this grocery and milk delivery service. They were very busy with that. They will be preoccupied from morning to evening. So their daughters were raised mostly by their maternal grandmother. Even Joanne and Jacqueline had 5 years difference, but these girls were inseparable. They played together all the time, and they were getting along well together. This Joanne likes to wear costumes and acting in the play that she made up herself. And Joanne, the biggest sister, putting herself very well to be a good sister for Jacqueline, and also to some extent that Joanne regarded herself as a second mother to her sister. So she took care of her well. She was there for her as her second mother, as the mother was very busy. They lived a normal life. There was nothing weird to notice about them. They just lived happily, except this one thing. Joanne had ever said to everyone that she would never grow into a lady. She would be just a small kid, and no one took that seriously. They just left that. At the age of 3, Jacqueline fell into a bucket. This caused a small gash over her forehead, under her right eye. It's near her root of her nose, and this made a permanent scar that sometimes visible in the cold weather, and this formed a permanent scar on her forehead. Jacqueline also had a roundish dark birthmark on her left waist. In May 1957, something tragic happened in the Hexham city of England. 11-year-old Joanna and 6-year-old Jacqueline were on their way to church with their friends Anthony, and suddenly they were struck by a car that came towards them. And almost instantly, both of them were killed on the scene. And this Anthony, who was just 9 years old, he died on the way to hospital. So the driver was a local woman. She decided to commit suicide, and she was on high aspirin, and also she was just lost to a custody over her kids. So she thought, like, I don't have kids, so nobody can have kids too. It's too pathetic, right? Witnesses saw her driving erratically and bearing down on the children, and this incident made headlines throughout Britain. Their parents were very devastated, and Florence just didn't want to think about that and just wanted to leave it behind because it was too devastating for her to remember. But then, on the other side, John Pollock, their father, had this vision of them standing in heaven on the day the accident happened, and also he felt the presence of them in the attic, in the top room of their house. So when he felt that presence, he would spend some time there to connect to them. Going back to John Pollock's early life, he was born in Bristol 1920, and he was raised in Church of England until he converted himself to a Catholic. Despite his Christian faith, John also believed strongly about reincarnation. He found about this reincarnation concept when he was 9 years old. He was reading this novel, and since that he truly believed about this reincarnation stuff. And also he told them he would pray to God for this evidence of reincarnation because he wanted to prove that the priests were wrong. He later said that he felt this death of his two girls was the punishment from God because he was praying of evidence for reincarnation. But also at the same time, he also felt that his prayer would be answered by God by his daughters reborn in the family. But to this, Florence really denied everything said by John, and this kind of quarrel happened and even threatened their marriage life. They planned to have a divorce after that. But then they can come up with the issues, and eventually Florence got pregnant again in the following year. And John became convinced that John and Jacqueline would be reborn into the family as twins, but to this, Florence really rejected his ideas. And also, the doctor had told them this is a single pregnancy based on the heartbeat that hurt, and also there was no history of twins in the family, well, in the John's family and also in Florence's family. So the doctor confirmed this is a single pregnancy. However, Florence bore twins on 4 October 1958, and everybody was shocked about this news except John, as he had this belief that he would have twins in the family. And the parents named them as Jennifer and Jillian. And this Jennifer had a birthmark that resembles Jacqueline's scar. Remember that Jacqueline fell down into the bucket? She had the same birthmark as the scar. And also, this Jennifer had the same dark birthmark on her left waist. Scientifically, it happens that twins normally have the same birthmark. And it's quite impossible to have the same birthmark as their sister, as they were not in same pregnancy. The bizarre stuff started to happen. When the twins were about 3 years old, they knew that they had toys in the attic that were boxed and kept there. The parents were never telling them about the toys since those toys belonged to the deceased sisters, but they knew it. And when the parents brought the toys down, Jillian and Jennifer just know exactly which toys belongs to who, and they were never quarrel about the toys. They were just like separating and sorting it out, and this is yours, this is mine. They knew instantly. Jillian claimed the doll that had belonged to Joanna, and Jennifer claimed the doll that belonged to Jacqueline. Florence Pollock occasionally overheard how the kids were talking about the details of the accident. Once she came across Jillian cradling Jennifer's head and saying, the blood is coming out of your eyes, and that's where the car hit you. And John Pollock recalled when he identified the bodies, he found out that actually Jacqueline had a bandage over her eyes, and it's just weird, they knew about that. Jillian once pointed to the birthmark that Jennifer had on her forehead, and she said that, oh, that's the mark you got where you fell down on the bucket. But actually that falling in the bucket was about the previous sisters. And the parents never told them about their sisters. They thought like we would tell them eventually later on when they grow up. So they didn't know actually they had sisters. So the pollock had moved from Hexham City when their baby was 9 months old, just to forget about the incidents. And they came back after that. After 4 years, they came back to Hexham City for the first time ever. And when they were on their way, and it was about to the park, and Jillian started to say like, let's cross the street to go to the park. I wanted to play the swing there, as if they were there before and it was their first time. It's clearly that they know about the way to the park, that there was a park there. And also these twins had phobias on the cars, so they would be very careful when they cross the street. They would be looking at the left and the right and thinking over 100 times to cross the street. And also they would hold the hands together. Well, holding hands is just normal for kids when they cross the street or when they do something together. And also John noticed that when the kids were on this enclosed alley walk and a car came to their way, they started to shout and scream that, oh, the car is coming for us, the car is coming for us, run away, as if that they had this bad trauma previously. And actually, if you go through that, there were so many things that these twins had the same way as their sisters do in life. So for me, I thought like, yes, maybe they were reborn into these twins. And what do you think about it, guys? Do you think it's really happening as a reincarnation, or it's just maybe a coincidence? Please feel free to drop your comments down, and don't forget to subscribe for more great stories. And that's all from me today. See you in the next story, and have a nice day.